Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. We're going to be answering 2 more questions for you today and spreading a bit of property knowledge around the place. But before we do that, if you've got a question of your own, here's how to send it our way.
Yeah, head over to propertyhub.net/ask, where you can leave us a message via your computer, or you can give us a call, and you'll also find that number on that page as well. So the place to go is propertyhub.net/ask. As you'd expect, we've got 2 questions in, and the first one is in from Butch.
Hi, Rob and Rob. My name's Butch, and it's a bit of a cliche, but love the podcast and the reassurances that you both continually provide upon the property market as a whole. My question is, how concerned should we be about the EPC C rating requirements coming into effect from 2025? Many thanks.
Butch, doesn't matter that it's a cliche, we still love to hear it. So thank you for your question. This is probably in the top 5 questions we receive at the moment, in both for Ask Rob and Rob and for our Sunday Times column. Everyone is in a bit of a flap about this EPC business. So let's see what we can do about that. So one helpful thing to start with is that the rumoured date has now changed from 2025 to 2028. So originally it was going to be for new tenancies 2025. For existing tenancies, you had an extra few years. Now, apparently, it's going to be 2028 for everything, which is just as well because they've been talking about it for so long. It almost is 2025. And the other thing to keep in mind is that none of this is actually confirmed yet. It's so strange that this has been talked about for so long and there's so much in the media about it. You'd think that this is something that's absolutely confirmed, cut and dried. It's in the statute book, but it's not. The government still hasn't made their final announcement about this. So we don't know if that'll be the date. We don't know what the cap is going to be in terms of how much you're going to spend. There's a lot we don't know. So how concerned should you be? Well, it kind of depends on the situation you're in. So if you've got a giant portfolio full of windy farmhouses, then you probably should be somewhat concerned because whatever happens, the direction of travel is that something's going to happen at some point and your properties are probably going to fail it by an absolute mile. So you should start thinking about it now. If you're at the absolute other end of the scale and you haven't bought anything yet and you're just thinking about it, then a really easy way to avoid the whole thing is to only buy properties that are already at a C or above. There could, of course, be opportunities to buy properties that are below that and bring them up to standard because the owners decide to get out of the game instead of spending the money. But that's a whole other issue. But let's assume that you're somewhere in the middle and you've got a few properties and maybe 1 or 2 of them are sitting on a D right now. That's the trickiest thing to give any recommendations about in the absence of any detailed information about the policy. But my personal view, perhaps foolish, is that common sense will in some way prevail. So maybe you do need to spend a little bit of money to bump the ratings up a bit. If you've got properties where it's literally impossible because it's in a block and you can't get the permission you need to make the changes, you'll probably be okay. And chances are they'll tweak the methodology a bit to make it easier for borderline cases to pass anyway. But that is all supposition. So, but that kind of helps as much as we can, given how little we know. I can tell you that personally, at least, this isn't something that I'm concerned about at all and doesn't really seem worth worrying about it until we know more. So I hope that does something to put your mind at rest.
Alrighty, let's listen to our next question from Leo.
Hi, Rob and Rob. This is Leo from London. Big fan of the podcast, and I've read all your books, so thank you very much. My question for you is on the legal landscape. So I have a great solicitor who's very thorough and a really good communicator, but she's no longer advising on personal guarantees. This is a policy from her company that's being pushed down. They're pushing me towards another solicitor who is charging essentially twice my broker fee and a long wait time to what is just watching me sign a document on a video call and providing a bit of bump. So my question for you is, are you seeing this happening everywhere, or should I find a new solicitor? Thanks, and keep up all the great work.
Leo, thank you for your question. This can be a bit frustrating. For those who use limited company mortgages, you are required by the lender to get independent legal advice around the agreement that you're signing. And the unfortunate consequence of this is it often costs you. Now, it's not unusual for your solicitor to not offer the independent legal advice service, or ILA. So if you are happy with your current solicitor and you think they do a really good job on the conveyancing, it may be worth looking for another solicitor. But for me, and this might be unfair, but for me, it's not a big job. It's a pretty easy job, and it feels like a box-ticking exercise. So, whether that's fair or not, my approach is Just get it done as quickly and as cheaply as possible. And the good news is you can shop around for these things. And a quick search on Google, you'll find that you can get it done for online via a video call for around about £150, which, yes, I'd rather not spend it, but I've seen others quote double and more than double that. So just search for independent legal advice, limited company mortgage, and then add the word cheapest. Have a quick look around. A 30-second Google search will get you there. And then check the reviews to make sure it's all good. But that way, you can get what, for me, is a very basic service at the best price you can. So it's unfortunate. I wish I didn't have to do it, along with pretty much every other investor. But if you're going to do it, get it done easily via video call rather than going into someone's office and for a cheaper price. And a quick Google search will get you there.
So there you go. 2 more questions answered. And if this has sparked a question of your own, do get in touch. Just go to propertyhub.net/ask. We'll see you back here on Thursday for the Property Podcast. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.